Such classic. Did you say College Club? I'll show you did. My sister said, brother, what are you reading? I said, God's Devil. She goes, why? And I said, because I'm enjoying it. I don't agree with everything Mr. Lutzer says here, especially when we're focused on Adam and Eve, because I read the lost books of the Bible. I read Adam and Eve, and it just made me cry. I fell down in tears reading Adam and Eve, and they said, that's not a real book. I believe it is. I believe it is. And it broke my heart to read Adam and Eve. It tore me to pieces. And then to find out about Seth, and then to find out about Seth's grandchildren, the ones he was talking to. I believe that Cain and Abel were black and white. I believe that Adam was black. I believe Eve was white. And I believe that Eve was warned not to partake with Satan, and she did, and she ate with him. And then she caused her husband to know Satan. I believe that while they were in the garden, she bore children, but I don't think she bore children the way she did after. Because God tells Eve, you're conscious, you're going to have children. And when you do, you're going to be in pain. God took that pain away from her. He didn't think that she bared children anymore without pain. Right. Well, that's good. So I believe that she bore children in pain. It was her punishment. I believe they had children in the garden. I believe they were in the garden for a long time having children, taking turns getting them pregnant. Satan and Adam. And God says, all womb that come from the flesh is mine. But when he shut the heavens up, the Garden of Eden, he shut Satan out. And he shut Adam and Eve out. So Satan was here upon the earth. He can go to and fro, all the stars, all the universe. He's not somewhere else. He's in this universe. God's going to shut him down to the earth. Somehow, some way. He's not going to have the productivity. I believe those crafts that he used, I believe he was using it. I believe it's going to crash or something's going to happen where it's going to get stuck here. And he's not going to be allowed to fly all over the place. He's going to get stuck on the earth. And when he gets stuck here, he's going to have to rule here. And this place is going to become hell. But I believe that Adam was black, Eve was white. And I believe that Seth's grandchildren, the black ones, went with the devil when they came. They said, oh, more beautiful than anything. And Seth told them, don't go on down unto them, stay in the caves. But they went down to them, and then they departed from them. And they became Egyptians. And then they were very prejudiced. I believe black people are more prejudiced than white people. You've ever noticed when you're in a black neighborhood, white people can't go into a black neighborhood because they'll beat them to death. Because of slavery? No, because of prejudice. It was the same way with Egypt. You couldn't just go into Egypt. You had to have a great talent, or you couldn't reside there. Okay, so what we're looking at here now is we're looking at the truth about black people and white people. Okay, white people always live lavishly, and black people don't live so lavishly because they just don't give enough. It seemed that way, but not true, because when you look at some of the communities in Africa, they're very beautiful black communities, and Ethiopia. But not to say that so many black countries are so beautiful, right? Not true. Okay, so prejudiceness that comes from Satan, and black people exercise it more. I have a book here. It's called African: The History of a Continent by John and Lee. I'm reading it, and what I'm reading here is very good about Islam and political development in the Western Forest, Ethiopia. Ethiopia, in 1137, New Zion, Mormons, Christianity and Islam, Black Death, Christianity in North Africa, and Assyrianism and Coptic language, ancient Egyptian written in Greek script. And there's a lot more to Africans than we know, but they're very powerful people, and they have the right to be prejudiced against anyone, especially if their great granddaddy was Adam. I believe he was. Okay, so if you are the Son of God, command these stones to become loaves of bread. Attempt 1, turn away from the will of God. Satan's trying to beat us, trying to cause us to come against each other, to hurt each other, to be prejudiced against each other, to dominate on one another, and to overcome each other. And this is just another lie. More lies. More lies. You don't have the right to be prejudiced. No one does. Okay, and you don't have the right to the N word or the GD word or the HS word. You don't have rights to those. You don't have a right to the MF word. Right? Right! Okay. So the word if should be translated, since Satan is orthodox in his understanding of who Christ is. Yeah, well, if no. Well, he knew Christ was the Son of God, or if he didn't know, no. He knew. Okay. The devil wants theology on the inspiration of the Bible, the existence of God and the person of Christ is more than accurate than that of the theological liberals who deny these truths, right? So the GD word, right, isn't worth it, right? Now we get my dad in this, and he'll use the GD word. Come, be quiet, G, damn it. Holy SH. Okay, so these are all words that are not forgiven by God. It's blasphemy against God or the Holy Spirit. Did you know that? Okay. So the existence of God and the person of Christ is more accurate than that of the theological liberals who deny those truths. The devil believes and trembles, yet he goes on rebelling. He rebels. Okay, so if the devil goes on rebelling, he has never found it easy to act on what he knows. To turn stones into bread was not only possible for Christ, but was the kind of miracle he would later perform. Within a few months, he would be standing on the shores of Galilee, taking 5 loaves and 2 fish in his hand, and with them feeding a multitude. Christ compassionately met the needs of other people. There would have been nothing wrong with him meeting his own needs, except for this. It was not yet time for Christ to eat. Okay. Christ says, the Last Supper, I will never drink of this again until I return. So it's fair to say that Christ isn't eating for over 2,000 years. So he's fasting. Wow. He and his father had apparently specified when the fast was to be over. 2,000 years. To perform a miracle now would be to interfere with the divine plan. As always, Satan took a legitimate need and asked to satisfy it in an illegitimate way. The essence of this temptation was to show that the needs of the body are more important than the needs of the soul, and today is more important than tomorrow. Desire is not duty, power not poverty, and here we come to the subtlety of temptation. If what it is presented to us was or is or were inherently evil, it would be much more easier to resist. We find temptation alluring precisely because the banquet that is spread in our path looks so good. And it looks good because it is good. And the right time and the right place, it could be very good or very bad. That's what I'm going to put in myself. We think of sexual temptation, which is appealing because it seems to be reasonable that our needs should be met. Indeed, hedonists throughout the centuries have reasoned. When I crave food, I eat. When I desire sex, I find a partner to have it with. And thus the cravings of the body that cry out thus for fulfillment to satisfy are they are satisfying apart from the will of God, are they? Well, if you're not married, yes, yes. But eating's a different story. What if you find a friend you can eat with and you lift it up to God and you both agree in that? Can it still be a sin? Well, you can truly be blessed, but there might be a sinful way. Okay, so here we go. Whether it is sex, food, or pleasure, God has prescribed the rules. And he has done so because he wants us to he wants to see us fulfilled. Not because he wants us to be frustrated or challenged and to have the faith to believe that his way is best, even when it doesn't appear to be so on the surface. Our assignment, like that of eating, is to believe that even a good tree will become poisonous if God has forbidden it. So we know that eating is important and we know that we can do it. But should we do it is the next question. And are we doing it right? Is probably a very desperate question. Here we see here that Christ saw the temptation for what it was. Through ravaged of hunger, he replied, "It is written, man shall not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God." Well, the bread that satisfies the soul is more important than that which satisfies the body. Oh, Christ appealed to a higher authority and a higher purpose. Oh, if the devil would come with error, Christ would combat him with truth, because the error, there is no room for that, especially if you're not married, and Christ wasn't married. Well, he was engaged. So the devil did not get the disobedience he wanted, but God, the Father, got the obedience he wanted. And thus we see the purpose of temptation. It is to give us a powerful opportunity to declare our loyalty, to show that we believe that God's way is the best way when we don't always feel it's the right way. But we don't always feel so. So Kingsway, Kings. That's a church in Central Los Angeles on Vermont, isn't it? Kingsway. Okay, so Kingsway is the way to go, right? Right. This is college classic campus hits. I'm only speaking from what I know. I couldn't possibly